What's the secret to acing an English language exam, especially when it comes to English for academic purposes?
That's a great question, and I think most learners would be surprised to know that it's not just about mastering grammar rules, but also about using the right phrases in context.
Exactly, and that's what we're going to explore today, with a focus on phrases that can help you make headway in your academic writing and speaking.
By and large, learners tend to focus on individual words, but phrases are where the real power is, and today we'll be looking at 3 key phrases that can take your English to the next level.
That sounds exciting, and I think our viewers will be curious to learn about these phrases, especially since most learners get the third one completely wrong.
So, let's dive in and start with the first phrase, draw a blank, which is often used when you can't remember something.
I love that phrase, and it's so relatable, especially during exams when you're trying to recall a specific term or concept.
Yes, and the common mistake is to use it in a negative way, like I always draw a blank, when in fact it's a neutral phrase that simply means you can't remember something at the moment.
That makes sense, and it's a great phrase to use in academic writing when discussing research limitations or gaps in knowledge.
Here's the weird part, though many learners use in a nutshell to summarize complex ideas, but often end up using it incorrectly.
Oh, I've seen that happen, and it's usually because they're trying to simplify a concept that's already straightforward.
Exactly, and the key is to use in a nutshell to summarize a complex idea in a concise way, like the researcher's main argument can be summarized in a nutshell as a call to action against climate change.
That's a great example, and it shows how using the right phrase can make your writing more engaging and effective.
Absolutely, and another phrase that can help with that is on the same page, which means to be in agreement or have a shared understanding with someone.
I use that phrase all the time in team meetings, and it's amazing how it can help to clarify expectations and avoid misunderstandings.
By and large, learners tend to use on the same page correctly, but sometimes they struggle with rub it in, which is often used to tease or mock someone.
Yes, that phrase can be tricky, especially in academic settings where you want to maintain a professional tone.
Exactly, and the key is to use rub it in sparingly and only when you're sure it won't be misinterpreted, like in a lighthearted conversation with a colleague.
Here's the weird part, though many learners think that make headway means to make progress in a linear way, but it's actually more nuanced than that.
Yes, and the common mistake is to use it to describe a steady or consistent progress, when in fact it means to make progress despite obstacles or challenges.
That's a great point, and it shows how using the right phrase can add depth and complexity to your writing.
In a nutshell, the key to mastering these phrases is to practice using them in context, and to be mindful of common mistakes.
Absolutely, and I think our viewers will find it helpful to practice using these phrases in their own writing and speaking.
So, let's summarize the phrases we've covered today, and see how they can be used in a real-life example.
Okay, so let's say you're writing a research paper and you want to describe a study that made headway in understanding a complex phenomenon, despite facing several challenges.
You could say something like, the researchers made headway in their study, despite initial setbacks, and were able to draw meaningful conclusions that were on the same page with existing research.
That's a great example, and it shows how using the right phrases can help you to convey complex ideas in a clear and concise way.
Today's challenge is to use one of the phrases we've covered today in a sentence, and share it in the comments below.
That's a great idea, and I'm excited to see how our viewers will use these phrases in their own writing and speaking.
If you enjoyed this conversation, subscribe for daily English practice, and join us tomorrow when we'll be discussing more phrases for English for academic purposes.
And tomorrow, we'll be exploring the secret to writing a compelling academic introduction, so be sure to tune in for that.